Hello, ABG is back to give you ABG Reviews, and today we'll be looking at Dadaocheng, which is a game from Soso Games, and this is the second edition variant, so don't be mistaken, because I believe there's quite a bit of difference between the first and the second edition of games. This is the one that they kind of re-debut at Essen this year. And as always at ABG, we like to do a 6-prong approach to review. So let me share my thoughts on Dadaocheng. Aesthetically, well, Dadaocheng actually, as you can see from the box itself, the setting is in 1851, and at 1851, I think the kind of a small problem is that it actually has a washed out color scheme, but it kind of matched the theme that they were trying to go for. So from a pure aesthetic perspective, well, the color may not pop as much. So from an aesthetics perspective, I will still give them a thumbs up because the game actually looks very attractive. In terms of skills, well, you really have to think a lot in Dadaocheng. You plan ahead a lot, and things may not go your way all the time if you're playing in a multiplayer game. So the skill needed for the game is pretty high. I would say it's a good high that you need, and I'll recommend it for that. In terms of the difficulty of the game, I think the hardest part of the game, for me personally and for some of the people that I actually play with, it's the learning of the resource disk manipulation stage. So that, in a way, at the start it's kind of fiddly, and it's not as easy to teach nor easy to master. The rules I think can be a bit better for the English version. Personally, I understand Mandarin, so when I was reading the rules in Mandarin or Taiwanese Mandarin, it makes sense to me after I read it a couple of times. But if I read it straight from English, it's not as straightforward to me. The only luck factor that the game has is on your turn, the disk may not be fully in your favor, but that's the only thing that throws out in terms of luck that affects an individual. Sure, there are event cards for the multiplayer version, and the event cards actually affect everyone, so I think it's still a fair playing field. Not so big a problem when it comes to luck, so I like it a lot for luck. Replayability, well, the events are not fully used. So they give you 14 event cards, but only one of them is required for starting the game. There is 6 rounds in the game, and which means that for the further 5 rounds, you only flip open 5 of the remaining 13 event cards. So, well, that will give you some form of a replayability in terms of trying to have different events each time you're playing the game, and that definitely boosts the replayability of the game. The quality of the component on all the 6-prong is probably, to me, the weakest. The tracker can actually, the player tracker, as you see over here, can easily be cubes instead of cardboard markers. And I'm not so sure for the flipping this how much it can actually hold to wear and tear. There's one classic example of Quack the Quacklingberg, where a lot of the tracker markers for the potion actually wears out very quickly. So, but in that game you actually throw them in the bag, put it out, so it may be a bit different. So I'm not too sure in that aspect. I haven't played the game, I don't know, 20 times. I definitely played it more times than the usual games that I have around. So all in all, component is probably the weakest. But with that said, Dadaocheng is the first triple S game that we will strongly recommend. This has a ABG triple S seal of approval. If you don't have the game, go get it. Dadaocheng 2nd edition, a very fine game from Soso Games. If you like the video, do like, share with your friends, subscribe below, turn on the notification bell. More videos are at the side, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.